are well, good, smiling, happy, healthy. It is Monday. What we're on Monday, the 10th of November. It's Christmas, isn't it? It's Christmas. I don't care what anyone says now. It's Christmas. With Halloween's done, bonfire night's done. It's officially Christmas. That's it. We're in there now. We're in there. We're in the full swing of things. We've got 6 full weeks to go, and that is it. Then it's Christmas week. So yeah, we're in the full swing of things at Christmas. And do you know what? In all honesty, and I know people don't like in terms of like, oh God, you know, I've not bought this yet, and I've not bought that yet, and I'm a little bit behind with this, and I'm a little bit behind with that, and all this and that. I get that. In terms of weight loss, we've got to start thinking about it. We have, because you know we don't lose weight over Christmas. But what we need to be doing now is putting ourselves physically and mentally into the best place to go and enjoy a nice week of not worrying about weight loss. So we've got to work on the mentality side of things. We've got to plan a little bit. I always feel that, you know, if you can push it a little bit towards any indulgent time, it makes that indulgent time then more, not manageable mentally. Well, yeah, it is manageable mentally. You should go and enjoy Christmas and fully enjoy Christmas without any guilt, any worry, any panic. How many of you over the years just fear Christmas when you're on a weight loss journey because of weight you might gain back, right? So it's something we've got to, you know, and now's the time. It's 6 weeks, right? And you can't change this in 6 weeks, but we can make it better. You genuinely can, right? Come follow me. I did my first Christmas content last week, navigating our way to Christmas. I might have made it a little bit complicated. I don't know. Well, it was just Paula was. I was bouncing around a little bit last week. My brain was bouncing around. My whatever my brain does, it was doing it last week. Anyway, but this week we are back on the Christmas content, and we're going to do Christmas. I'm going to talk about how we handle Christmas when we finish. Like, this is how, you know, but I'm going to go in with a couple of different scenarios. All right. I can be a little bit cut and short at times with my views. I get that. Right. But I've got to be confident in what I preach, because that's why you guys follow me. That's why some of you guys work with me, you know, as your coach. But I'm going to go into Christmas, and I'm going to give you a couple of different, I'm going to give you some options. I'm going to give you option 1, option 2, option 3. But in all honesty, yeah, you can kind of do it the way you want to do it, which might just be option 3. Anyway, we'll get there. Let's do the top 5 this morning. On TikTok, Callum's in at number 1, Lisa's in at number 2, Kirsty's in at number 3, Louis in at number 4, and Gemma is in at number 5. Good morning, guys. Thank you very much for jumping straight on the live, coming and saying hello. I hope you've all had a wonderful weekend. Steph GC, good morning. Morning, everyone. Journ's at our house. Everyone's snoozing while I'm at work. Do you know what? Me and Rachel said this weekend, I feel a bit sniffly. A little bit sniffly, but this is my time of year for getting hay fever. It genuinely is my time of year for getting hay fever, when the last sort of leaves are dropping from the trees. Ooh, little rhyme in there, something. When the last leaves drop from the trees. The real Lost Boss gets hay fever. Yeah, it is this time of year when I get. So I don't feel ill at all, but I just feel a little bit like that. But yeah, I get hay fever from leaves. I don't know why. And it's always around mid-November where I end up a little bit sneezy and a little bit snuffly. Maureen, good morning. Phasing, good morning. Bill, been a while since I made a live, stuck in traffic. Do you know what, Kirsty? I was going to say that. I can't remember you being on a live for a long time. Anyway, glad to hear. Tina, good morning. Jackie's in, good morning. Pete, morning, boss, morning, mate. I hope you're good. Hannah's in. Michelle's in. Good morning. I thought I did see Hannah somewhere. Peter P. Good morning. Katie's in. Good morning. I'm dilly-dally around last couple of weeks with plans, but fully back on it now till Christmas. Yeah, but you've had your birthday, and you've got to be able to do that. You've had your birthday. You've got to be able to do that. Kirsty, I thought I saw Kirsty. No, I said Hannah, didn't I? I've got 2 Kirstys in. Good morning. Donna's in. Good morning. Sheila's in. Good morning. Jackie, morning. I think I've already said morning to Jackie. Right. I think I've ticked all the boxes. Finally took the plunge and made it to the gym for the first time. Pete, come on, what are we doing in that gym? Let me know. Liz, good morning. Stefan's in. Good morning. Can't believe tomorrow's 1 year anniversary is starting. Well done, Stefan. Good to hear. Had a good weekend. Attended stepdaughter's army base for Remembrance Sunday. Very, very moving. Yes, Remembrance Sunday yesterday. I observed my minute silence at 11 a.m. And yeah, it's something that we should all, pay respects to 100%. What got me last week? Well, he didn't get me, which is because I'm more than happy to know. But you just like, I wanted a metal poppy. And I was literally like, and I was coming out of Morrison's, and the guy was like, any poppy sir or whatever. It was just like that. I said, I honestly haven't got any cash on me, but I have got some in the car. Let me go and grab it. He went, well, we take card now. I was like, brilliant. I was like, is that where we're at now with like charity take? Which is fine. I don't mind it all, especially when it's Remembrance. I always, so I was like, yeah, just ping me a tenner and I'll take a metal poppy. I always chuck a tenner in. It's very close to me. I mean, I've always, so my arm, my tattoo on this arm is dedicated to my grandfather, who was a Japanese prisoner of war in World War II for 3.5 years. He landed in France and was then flown out. He landed in France, not in like what you would class as Saving Private Ryan landed in France, but he went into France quite early in 41, I think. My grandfather went to France, and then he was only there for a couple of months, and then he got flown out to the Pacific War. I think he got caught in Singapore by the Japanese. And then he worked on the Burma Railway for 3.5 years as a Japanese prisoner of war. So I actually always have poppies. I don't know if you can see. So this is my sleeve is dedicated. Is not a World War II sleeve in a way. Well, it kind of is. So I have got. That was the first train in that Polaroid. So my grandfather opened up a photographic shop when he came out of the war. He was always into photography, and he opened up a photographic shop. So I've got like 3 Polaroids on my arm there, and that is him landing in a scene of France. And like I say, I've always got poppies on me because there's a poppy. I've got 3 poppies there on my sleeve, and then that's the first picture of the first train tucked in behind that went on the Burma Railway after the war ended, and that is the Imperial War Museum, where my grandfather kept a diary in the Japanese prisoner of war camp. And if he got caught with that diary, he'd have been shot. He kept it all the way through the war, and that is in the Imperial War Museum, and that is why I've got a diary there, which needs finishing. This I had this sleeve started just before COVID, and then COVID hit, and then because he was in Thailand building the Burma Railway, I've had a Thai sort of Buddha piece done with a compass in there for northwest for the way home, sort of thing. There you go. That's my World War II. So it's very dear to me. It's very dear. It's always something that Remembrance Sunday. It's always something I pay a lot of attention to. I'm going to the Imperial War Museum this weekend. Funny I should mention that. If you mooch around, you will see my grandfather's diary. So it's preserved in the Imperial War Museum. And there's a pressed butterfly, hence why I don't think I've got butterflies on this one. Oh, yeah, no, I have. Of course I have. Right. And there's a pressed butterfly, which is why that butterfly is coming out of the diary. He caught a butterfly in Thailand and preserved it in his diary. And that is still there from like 1944 or 1945. And he was still in the war camp well after. The Americans found him 3 weeks. So the war ended on actually my birthday, the 2nd of September, 1945. And they didn't leave. The Japanese fled. They went. They ran away. They ran away. Obviously, but they stayed in the camp for like 3-4 weeks because they thought it was a trap. They didn't realize they could leave. And it was only when the Americans found my grandfather about, I think, early October 1945, and they were still in the war camp, starving, no food, no nothing, but they daren't leave because they were just expecting him to get shot if they left. Honestly, he used to tell me all the time, and he was such a positive guy. My grandfather was amazing. He was like, I shouldn't be here. We lost so many friends, so many, throughout it all. So yeah, it's something that I always, it's very dear to me, if that makes sense. Good morning, Neil. Can you tell me what deficit I'm in if I bank 2,000 calories for the week? What do you mean by that, Anis? What do you mean by you banked it? Do you mean like you've woke up this morning and you're 2,000 calories under your ideal deficit? Is that what you mean by that? You know, looking good for someone born in 1945. I definitely weren't born in 1945. To be fair, if I had been, that would have been a miracle because, funnily enough, my mum was born on the 28th of July, 1946, which is pretty much, if you work it out, about 9 months after mid-October 1945. I wonder what my nan and grandpa were doing when he got home from war in October 1945. I think it's quite self-explanatory. Anyway, really, this is like, and this sounds crazy. So my grandfather was Japanese prisoner of war for 3.5 years. He came home, and my nan was with someone else. She was with someone else. She's not heard from him for 3.5 years. She thought he was dead. She thought he was dead. My dad was with someone else. Yeah, he come home like knocked on the door. He was like, "Who's this geezer?" Like, "Yeah, you all right?" And fair play to me, nan. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, yeah, she thought he was. She's never heard from him for 3.5 years. So I don't blame her if that makes sense. But anyway, the other geezer, luckily for me, got booted, and my grandpa was straight back in, which is fair enough because it was his house, you know. Anyway, there you go. It's not all romance, is it? Or maybe that is someone like, oh, how romantic. I don't know. But anyway, there you go. Yeah, I checked for last week to see what I ended up on, and I have 2,000 banked even after the weekend. So basically, Anis, if you look at your calories that I gave you, they won't have really changed. If I put you in a 3,500 calorie deficit a week. So why is Betty banging on the door? She's been out. I made sure she went out for a week. I'm going to go let the dog out. So I put you in a 3,500 calorie deficit. So if you've got 2,000 left over, 3,500 plus 2, 5.5. So you're in a 5,500 calorie deficit if you've got that many left at the end of the week. Paul is in. Good morning. Let me scan down. Oh, she's gone now. It must be a dog that's gone past and she wants to go bark at it down the thing. Neil, did you get the Aldi walking pad? How is it? Do you know what? I haven't done. This might I think they were released on Thursday or Friday, and this might absolutely knock you down with a feather. I've not been in Aldi for 3 or 4 days. I don't think. Have I? I haven't. I've been in Tesco. I've been in Tesco a bit this weekend because we've been Rachel's been buying lots of Christmas bits from Next or something. Next is next to Tesco at Blackpool. So I can't remember the last time I went in Aldi. So no, I haven't done, but I'm gonna go and have a look today, but I don't think I'm gonna get one. And I'll tell you why. Let me just go let Betty out. What? No, you can stay in here. What do you want? Blossom, don't come in here. Bloss, come on. She goes straight back in the house now. Or does she need another way? She can't go another way. She's 9 years old and becoming incontinent. I don't know. Anyway, right, dog sorted out. She's having another way. Unbelievable. What was I saying? What Aldi walking pad? I tell you why. I don't think I'm going to get one because I saw someone talking about them. I've not seen a review of them, and I don't think they have any handles or a frame, right? Like a walking frame. And I need one at my age. No, basically, I'm quite not with my arthritis and the pressure I've put through my body from my obesity. I'm quite knock-kneed. So I'm quite knock-kneed, and then I'm very supinated. I walk very much on the outside of my feet, which isn't good. But basically, the knock-on effect of that is I have really bad balance. My balance ain't great. I've got really bad balance. So if I'm walking on a walking pad and I want it to be a reasonable pace, I need something like when I'm walking on the treadmill, I always just rest my hands very gently. If I'm walking at a decent pace, like 5.5 kilometers an hour, if I'm walking at 3 kilometers an hour, I'm fine. I don't need it. But if I get the pace up, and I don't think I'm correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think they've got like because some walking pads have just like a bit of something at the front that you can just and literally when I say rest, I'm talking just in, to steady myself. But I'll have a look today. I'm going to go in today. But if I'm being honest with you, it'll be decent. It will be decent. Aldi's stuff's good. It normally is, the stuff from the middle aisle. And one thing Aldi never do is they never question anything. Like we bought a blanket. Like they had like pet blankets or something. It wasn't a pet blanket. It might have been like a throw or something. I don't know. Rachel picked it up. And within a couple of weeks, it started fraying a little bit at the side and just unlucky. And I mean, bloody hell, it's cheap. It was literally it was like a teddy bear blanket dupe. And this was last year, and it was fraying at the sides or something like that. And I know they know me because I go in there all the time, but I took it back in. I didn't have a receipt or anything. I was like, I bought this a couple of weeks ago. It started fraying thingy. And they were like, we've got no more in. We'll just refund you. Have you got the card? Have you got the card or whatever? I said it was Apple Pay. Yeah. They don't even question it. And the same with I bought, what did I buy? And don't get me wrong, you might think this is really really, is that what you do? But I do it because it's expensive. I bought some strawberries from there maybe a couple of weeks ago. And I always sift through, I lift the crates up and everything and find the longest date. And these strawberries had a 5-day date on them. So I bought them. 3 days later, they'd literally all gone mushy in the packet. So they were still in date, but they were mushy in the packet. And I literally put them in a bag, took them in. I said, these have still got 2 days left on them. And they're not really, yeah, let's go get them and put it. They don't even question. They're really, really good for stuff like that. So in terms of quality, I bet they're really, really good. Right? I'm going to go and have a look. Does that make sense? Kevin, morning, boss. This is on YouTube. Stress finally got to me yesterday and had a major binge. Really trying not to start Crimbo early, but it's difficult. Kevin, I'm not surprised. And I'll tell you why I'm not surprised. And it's not that I'm not surprised, I knew Kevin and caving at some point. It's natural. It's not, do you know what? We beat ourselves up so much for some things that are natural. Kevin's been on plan with me for a few months now, and this is his first thing. Do you not think even people in the last 3 months that don't even have a weight issue, haven't overeaten for a day once in months? It's natural. It's not a thing that we should beat ourselves up about. We have such a poor relationship with eating, with food, with weight loss. Things that happen naturally are things we should never beat ourselves up about. And having the odd day every few months where you overeat isn't a fat thing. It isn't an overweight thing. It isn't a food addiction thing. It's something we do. It's like you're going to do it again in a few weeks. The 25th of December, everyone binges and overeats or whatever you want to call it. We don't beat ourselves up then because it's Christmas Day, right? And it's part of what we do, right? Well, actually, we probably do beat ourselves up. A lot of people will, right? It's flipping Christmas Day. And this is why I promote things like weight loss breaks. And do you know what? The only thing we can maybe get a little bit disappointed is if it is unplanned in a way. But again, we're not robots. Things happen where we just want a little blowout. I've had one this weekend and I've done it on purpose. I said this. I've been absolutely on it since we got back from Mexico. I've been absolutely on it. I've been in my ideal deficit week on week. And this week just gone, we have friends come up family come up. Rachel's cousin and her husband come up on Saturday night, and we booked to go out for a bit of a meal. And I said to Rachel, I'm having a few beers tonight. I'm going to have a nice pizza, all right? And I'm going to have a little bit of a blowout tomorrow as well. And I have to. And I fully enjoyed it. And I'm about 1,500 calories over my ideal deficit, is what it is. I've tracked to the best of my ability. I've stayed accountable. And I've done it on purpose. So, yeah, maybe the only thing that we might be disappointed is it's not a planned weight loss break, as it were. But, if we're doing this week in, week out, it's going to cause us an issue. But I'm sorry, I think every 2 to 3 months, everyone on this planet will have an unplanned, spontaneous little blowout. Now, when you do that, what is important, just to answer some questions if you want them answering, is to track, is to stay accountable. And I know a lot of people don't want to see the numbers. It's like, if I don't see the numbers, it's not happened. No, it has happened. It's fine in the grand scheme of things. And Kevin's like, up until, Kevin's beating himself up, and we focus way too much on what we class as negatives. Kevin started on Plan With Me 7th of July, right? On the 7th of July. On his last check-in, which was Halloween, he was 41 pounds down, nearly 3 stone down, right? And I don't feel Kevin's had a proper weight loss break, because he had one planned in, but he's had a couple of personal issues recently. And that might also be a reason as well. Kevin, just pressure building up a little bit. And I know we shouldn't find the answers in food. We genuinely shouldn't. I know that's not the reason. But if it's every now and then, sometimes it's all right. Every now and then, I'll go and drink, right, for a coping mechanism. Now, you might be sat there going, well, that's really bad, Neil. Not if it's every 3-4 months. Not if every 3 or 4. If I do it every night, if you're going home every night and having 3 or 4 just 3 or 4, and I say just 3 or 4 because 3 or 4 G&Ts, because to unwind from I'm just unwinding from the stress of the day. No, that's alcoholism, right? And that's what it is. I've got mates that do it all the time, and they try and justify, oh yeah, I just have 2 or 3 cans. I have a couple in the pub after work most days, and then I'll have a couple of cans while making tea, and then I might have one more on the sofa. But what, on a Tuesday night? Yeah, on a Tuesday. So that's your Monday, Tuesday. What about on a Saturday? Well, yeah, and sometimes we go, yeah, you're an alcoholic, right? It really is that simple, right? So, and again, I'm not judging people for it. I never judge anyone, but it's an issue. The only time it is and it's an even bigger issue if you don't realize you've got that problem. But if once every 3 months you go to the pub on the Friday night because you've had a bad week at work, and you're just like, I just want to go and have a few beers, have a game of pool, have a chat with my mates, let me hair down, blah blah blah. Yeah, it for a lot of people it might be like, that's not that. I'm not finding the answers permanently in it. And it's the same with food. I used to emotionally eat several times a day. Now I might do it once every couple of months. I'm at peace with that. I'm at peace. Once every couple of months, once every 3 months. And when I used to emotionally eat several times a day, the calories were way out of control, right? Now, if I emotionally eat, I'm in control in a way because I track and I own up to it and I face it, We can't be perfect. We want to be, and we think we should be. And a lot of weight loss methods over the years have told us that we need to be perfect, So, yeah. How much are they? I think they're 90 quid. I got one from AliExpress and it was £60 and works perfectly. They've come down in price on walking pads so much, haven't they? Kevin, yeah, I think for my weight loss break, that didn't happen. I've been struggling to keep a lid on it. Yeah, I think that's it, Kevin. I think I sort of decided to let go a little bit last week with both food and drink. That's fine. You decided. The food didn't decide, and that was the same with me last week. I literally said I kept everything in place Monday to Friday, but I decided Saturday, Sunday, I wasn't going to stick to my ideal deficit. I was more than happy to go 2,000 or 3,000 calories over it, to be honest with you. I ended up 1,500 over it, right? Which means, I have 2,600 a day, so that's 5,200 for the weekend. I banked 2,003, 2,400 going in. So I had 8,000 and I've done another 1,500. So I've had a 9,500 calorie weekend. That's a calorific weekend. I decided to do it. That's fine. Right? Back on it today. And like I said, running up to Christmas, I've just put into place where I was calling it in my weekly weight loss, navigating to Christmas, weekend on, weekend off. You can call it whatever you want. Busy week, quiet week, busy week, quiet week. I talked about this in my newsletter yesterday. So a busy week is where I've got something social on, and I'm not too bothered about sticking to my ideal deficit. I'm going to try and stick to a deficit, just not my ideal deficit. When I've got a quiet week like this week, I'm going to try and stick to my ideal deficit. That's it. And that's weekend on, weekend off. So this weekend, this week, we've literally got nothing on apart from we're going out for Sunday lunch. We were meant to go out with some friends a few weeks ago. Sunday lunch got cancelled. We're going out on Sunday. That's it. But it's just Sunday lunch. And, I've actually gone 1,500 calories over my ideal deficit this week. And I think I had 1,700 or 1,800 calories worth of alcohol. So it's just the alcohol that's pushed me over, right? But I'm not drinking this week, right? No alcohol this week. Next week I am. And that's kind of that's the difference with me with sticking to my ideal deficit. Not is if I decide to have a few beers, that's it. But, I enjoy it. And I don't do it to an excess, or what I don't feel is an excess. Like say I had a beer on Saturday night, and that was my first one for a month. My mentality has gone tits up. I'm trying not to go full off mode, but struggling. Jem, at least you're here, and at least you're being accountable. And it is just going to be a case of doing that for now, because I've given. I don't mean I've given you as many tips or as advice as I can. But, sometimes it does just come down to where we get to mentally. And I think, like I've said with you, it is what's going to be the switch is just getting that foot better. And you'll actually be getting to that point in time now where your frustration is going to get worse. Because when it first happens, kind of the pain takes over and this, that, and the other. And you're probably at the point now where it's still quite painful. And you get into that desperate where you just need it to heal. And unfortunately, what's kettle never boils. So, we just need to hang on as best we can. And like I say, weight loss isn't your priority at the moment. Healing your foot's your priority. But I still want you to stay accountable, which is what you're doing. You're still coming on the lives. You're still coming on the weight loss sessions. You're still opening up about it. I'd like you to be tracking. You might not be. I don't care what you're eating calorie-wise. We'll get back to that in January. And I'm not saying, and some coaches might be like, no, it doesn't matter. No, I've got empathy for Gemma. And I kind of know what she's going through. And it's hard. It's really, really hard. And trying to fight a food addiction alongside, life being turned upside down, it is tricky. It is tricky. So sometimes we'll just need to take a step back to be able to take steps forward in the future. So with the walk to school this morning, woke up feeling awful. Just want to go, oh, Regan's not so well. Time of year, innit? Time of year. Do you know what's worse this last couple of weeks? And this sort of happened around early October. Mild weather this time of year. They call it flu season, don't they? Because it's a breeding ground for different germs and stuff like that. And what makes it worse is that temperature. How warm has it been for November? Like, it has been really, really warm for November. So warmth is, again, just more of a breed. It's like, if you cook something and you just leave it on the kitchen side, so it just sits at room temperature, it's not hot, it's not cold, breeding ground for bacteria, which is why we have fridges. We put stuff in the fridge and it cools it down, stops it being. So cold isn't a breeding ground for bacteria. Literally, when we heat something up, and when we heat something up, that kills bacteria, right? So if you think of June, July, when it's warm, that's like heating food up in an oven or a microwave or an air fryer, kills bacteria. Putting something in a fridge, cold, pauses bacteria, stops it breeding. And that's what we're at the moment. I feel like we're at room temperature. So, a lot of people going around not feeling too good at the moment. Kevin, I did go shopping first thing this morning, ready for the weekend. Oh, you did go shopping first thing this morning. 6 weeks on plan is the plan. Brilliant. And Kevin, I think you might have just needed it. You probably just needed a blowout, right? And we've got 6 weeks now. The last check-in for 2025 for my clients is the 19th of December. Well, anyone that's checking in this week, right? Your last check-in is the 12th of December. So anyone checking in on Friday, your last official check-in is the 12th of December. But as I always do this every year, if your last check-in is the 12th of December, you can also check in like when you do your Christmas cutoff. So I'm going to talk about, I will probably talk about that a little bit on Thursday in the weight loss coaching live, where I talk about handling Christmas. So I'm going to talk about Christmas cutoff. I'll talk about check-ins obviously closer to the time, but just for your own mentality. So basically, my clients check in every couple of weeks. So, and I can't have my clients, for the amount of clients I've got, people don't need to weigh weekly. So they check in with me every 2 weeks, and then one half checks in 1 week, one half checks in the other week. So, yeah, your final check-in of the year will either be the 12th or the 19th of December. If your check-in is the 19th of December, we're just going to call it quits then, right? We're just going to call it quits. That is your pre-Christmas weight, yeah? I recommend you stay in on board until maybe the 22nd or the 23rd when we have our Christmas cutoff, but that is your pre-Christmas weight. If you check in on the 12th of December, and that's your official last check-in of 2025, when it is your Christmas cutoff, which could be the 19th, the 20th, the 21st, 22nd, 23rd, you can send over a pre-Christmas weight. It's not a check-in. You're not going to get a response from me. I'll just update it onto your sheet. Right, so it will keep you accountable because you're still going to do one more weigh-in until Christmas, but it's just not an official check-in. Yeah, and likewise, when we get back to it, so you might start backtracking on the 1st of Jan. If you want to send over a post-Christmas weight, you can do that then. It's not a check-in, right? But I'll update it onto your progress sheet so you can sort of see. It's good to build up an image of what you gain over Christmas. The last 3 Christmases, I've gained about 12 pounds. Not in fat, right? I gained about 7 or 8 pounds in water retention, food weight. And then I gained about 4 or 5 pounds in body fat. 7 or 8 water retention, food weight, 4 or 5 pounds in body fat. And if I go back to my progress sheet over the last 3-4 years, that's roughly what my post-Christmas gain has been. And you know that. So every time I get on the scales now, I know. I don't need to go on the scales. I know what I gain. Right. I also know that from seeing that post-Christmas gain, to get my head back into the game and then jumping on the scales 2 weeks later, it's pretty much gone. So that's why I don't have any guilt over Christmas of eating what I want, because any weight I gain within 2 weeks after Christmas is gone. And I'll take a 2-week pause journey on my, 2-week pause on my weight loss journey to fully enjoy Christmas guilt-free. Weight gain will always be part of weight loss, whether it's weight gain going on the journey or whether it's during the journey, right? It's always going to be part of it, you know. Good morning, family. I had a good week last week. Looking forward to carrying it on this week. Yasmin, that is great to hear. It really, really is. You know, when people, positivity just it keeps us going. It really, really does. You know. Morning, Neil. Just sent over a message, Kirsty. It's very good to see that message. Well, I hope it is. I don't know how it finished. I only saw the first bit of it saying you've gone MIA. I always call it AWOL. I might start calling it MIA because I always say AWOL, absent without leave. You do not need permission from me to go to disappear. I think MIA is probably better. People go missing in action, as it were. I like that. It's not a great ending. Okay, well, I'll have a read through, Kirsty, and we'll see what the future holds. Yeah. Plans every week in December, all involving when it's a great ending. Is that because you've jumped on the scales? It's not a great ending, or I don't know. We'll have a look. Kirsty, I won't be, but we're back in training again, which is amazing. Okay. All right. Kirsty, leave it with me. I'm finishing this at 9:30, and then I'm going to shoot off and head to the gym and train. And then I've got a couple of bits and pieces to do. Standard Monday. I need to go and pick some parcels up. I've got to drop some stuff off at the post office and this, that, and the other. So I will read through everything, and I'll get back to you this afternoon. But I'm hoping we're going to get you back on track. I'm hoping that's the whole summary of the message. Anyway, there we go. Plans every week in December, all involving food, dinners out. Just going to do the best I can. Cheryl, that's all you need to do. But like I said in that weekly weight loss vlog, you know, dinners out and food and dinners out, we have such an unhealthy relationship with food. We automatically think that's it. And it's not. It's not, you know. And like I say, sometimes we need to make a little bit of compromise, you know, if we want to progress, not sacrifice, compromise. So, you know, I love Christmas. I love the build up to Christmas more than Christmas. I genuinely do. I absolutely love it. And even we went out on Saturday night and it felt so Christmassy. Me and Rach just went for half an hour to our local, or one of the pubs in our village. One's shut down at the moment, but the other one's open. And we went there, and they just had an artist in that day, and he'd drawn all like snow scenes on the windows of the pub and baubles and this, that, and the other. Nothing else up Christmassy yet. And I was literally like, oh, it feels so Christmassy. And then we went to a pub in the next village. And again, it's a really nice little pub that we went to. And it just, again, they didn't have any Christmas bits up, but it felt so Christmassy. But then a couple of the shops, obviously getting in the mood for Christmas, like the butchers, they had little lights up in the window. And it was just starting to, and it is, you're just like, oh, it's Christmas, you know. And I know some people don't want it to be this early. I could give a toss. It makes everything feel a bit brighter and a bit better and this, that, and the other. So, but it is hard. And we have, I would say, pretty much from now until Christmas, we've got something on now every weekend. But my weeks, you know, like this weekend, we're going out for food with friends, right? Doesn't need a roast dinner. Yeah, a roast dinner might be quite caloric, but I'm not drinking alcohol, right? I'm just, you know, I'm not drinking alcohol. Me and Rach, if we do get a pudding, we'll just share one. It's a roast beef dinner. I can build it into my calories, right? You can build certain things into your calories, you know. And then the week after, I'm out with some mates on Saturday, but it was meant to be a big day and everyone's dropping out. They're dropping like flies. So basically, I'm going out with some mates a week on Saturday. And it was, we always do like a mate's Christmas do, right? It's basically what it is. And it's just, we meet up, watch some footy, hit a few pubs, jump on a train, end up somewhere where, do you know what I mean? Sometimes, you know, it can be a bit spontaneous where we just go to Manchester for a few. It's about 45 minutes on a train, or so, yeah, or we'll go here or we'll go there, or, you know, we might go on a random footy game. We might go AFC Files, which is our local team, or we might mooch, might go, well, I don't think you get on Preston or you can go watch, but I watch any football, mate. Anyway, last 2 years, we've done it in mid-December. And the last 2 years, there's a few mates that have got kids and this, that, and the other. Like, oh, I've got to see, you know, we're going to see Santa or this, that, and the other. It'll be 4 o'clock before I get there. So I said, right, this year we'll just do it in November. We'll do it towards the end of November. And then, you know, before all the Santas and stuff start. Yeah, all good. So we put a poll in the WhatsApp group. What's the best date for everyone? You can't please everyone. So it's a week on Saturday. Everyone's dropping like flies, which is fine. There's still a few of us up for it, but only about 3 or 4 of us, I think, now. There's normally 10 of us. Anyway, but then one of my mates that can't make it, he was like, these are the dates that I'm free in December. If we can get another date in, we'll just go for a couple of beers. And I was like, well, I'm out on the 21st of December because I'm going to go watch United Villa. And my mate Keith's a United fan as well. And he was like, oh, I'm well up for that. Right, yeah, I'm up for it. And then every person in the group who can never do December is like, yeah, I can do the 21st. I can do the 21st. I can do. So anyway, it looks like we've got a round 2 on the 21st of December. But the bonus of that is, because when there is a lot of you, it can end up getting a little bit out of control. The bonus of that is a week on Saturday, it should be a bit more chilled. Like, I think we're just going to stay local and we're just going to have a little mooch around a couple of local pubs, have a couple of beers, watch whatever footy's on, watch Soccer Saturday, watch whatever's on, and then early finish. That's the plan anyway. We'll see what happens. So again, that might be a little bit more less calories than I thought it was going to be, you know. My partner's birthday, 3-course meal Chinese with in-laws, and works easy. You can fit that in. You generally could if you wanted to, especially with the way I coach weight loss. You can, but again, so many people are, oh my god, how did it? Like, I don't think a lot of people have never followed my philosophies of weight loss before, where we have some lower calorie days, we have some higher calorie days. We make things work for us. And then we just have this association. This food makes me fat. This food makes me thin. It doesn't. It's calories in, calories out. Right. So even if you had, I've had a full-blown weekend this weekend. Right. I've eaten the new M&S peppermint bar yesterday. I'll tell you my eating yesterday. So I had a bowl of cereal in the morning. Right. I then went, I just had a hankering for some fried chicken. I just wanted KFC. Right? And just chicken. I wasn't asked about chips or anything like that. So we went, and Rachel was like, well, I fancy like a proper nice baguette. So we went to Tesco shopping, and we got a baguette. And I just went to KFC, and I got 4 mini fillets, and I just took half of this baguette and put mini fillets in lettuce and mayonnaise. Kind of made my own fillet burger, as it were. So I had that, followed by one of the new peppermint bark cookies from Aldi. Not from Aldi, from M&S. We then also got some mint cookies from Tesco, which people were raving about, which were better than the M&S ones. They were amazing. So I had one of them. I had pie mash veg for me tea that was 1,100 calories. I had a mince pie. I also had half a piece of the sticky toffee pudding cheesecake from Aldi. I had 100 grams of Munch Mix. I know I put a bit of a joke on yesterday that we smashed, but we did. We opened a tin of Munch Mix and fairly rattled through it on Saturday night. But that was with family. And then whatever was left over yesterday, smashed that in yesterday afternoon. I had about 5,000 calories yesterday, all tracked, all accounted for. I'm still in a calorie deficit. I'm over my ideal deficit, but I've eaten all that yesterday. And then Saturday, I actually didn't eat anything. Saturday, I had a yogurt bowl all day. That was it for the entire day. I had 600 calories up to 5 o'clock at night. But from 5 o'clock at night up until I had about 4,000 calories because I went out for a pizza, had some Munch Mix, and had a few beers as well. Right? Pizza's 1,500 calories. Munch Mix, I had about 100 grams of Munch Mix, which is 2,000 calories. And then I had a couple of thousand calories worth of alcohol. So I had like 4,600 calories on Saturday, right? So I've still lost weight this week. I still lost weight. I've done all that this weekend. I've had a full blown out weekend eating nearly 10,000 calories this weekend. But because of my philosophies of weight loss, and don't get me wrong, you might be like, well, I ain't got the calories you've got, Neil. Yeah, but it's all subjective, right? Rachel doesn't have my calories, but she still had a bit of a blown out weekend. But whereas I'm a greedy sod and I ate a whole pizza and a couple of other slices from other people's, Rachel had half of one. Right? She still enjoyed it. She didn't need any more. Right? And instead of having like several pints like I had, Rachel had a couple of glasses of wine and vodka and Diet Coke. Right? She still had some Munch Mix as well, the same as me. Yesterday, she still was chipping in what I was, but she wasn't anywhere near as calorie. We still kind of ate the same things, but she's just a bit more portion control than I am. Right? So you can do it. Tesco mint cookies are elite, way better than they are. Unreal. Tesco mint cookies, absolutely sensational, really, really good. Easy. I banked 1,000 calories for Chinese on Saturday. There you go. Had the weekend away, didn't track, but my new way of thinking about food, I ate quite healthy. Yeah, absolutely. And again, when we're going out for food, we sort of have this thing in our heads, and I had it for years that if I make maybe a slightly better calorie choice, I'm not saying you have to do this. I'm generally not. If I make maybe a better, slightly calorie, it makes it less of a night. It really doesn't. It really, really doesn't. But the main thing that we struggle with is this food makes me fat. This food makes me thin. If I go out for tea, I'm getting fatter. And it just doesn't work like that. It's all calories in, calories out. So we just have to do the best we can, How do I get more info? Just found you on TikTok. TikTok profile, YouTube page, Facebook page, doesn't matter. Click on my link tree, right? And at the top of my link tree is what's at the top of my link tree? At the top of my link tree is an inquiry form. If you just want to touch base on my inquiry form, it's the easiest thing to do. Click on that, put your name in, put your email in, your phone number in, and a little message. Hi, Neil, send you on TikTok. Can you send me details of your plan? I'll send you details. I have got 2 start dates left for my one-to-one plan. right? And before you sign up, read this week's newsletter. Right? Read this week's newsletter. All right. It's Black Friday, putting a bit of a Black Friday deal on. Now, I know some people have recently signed up, and you might be a little bit like, oh, well, I might. I sort all my clients out. All right. So don't feel like you've missed out. You haven't. I'll sort you out. But I've got like a Black Friday. I know the people that have read the newsletter because 3 people have took advantage of what's in the newsletter already, and there's 2 left. That is it. I can't put this deal on for many, but it is a bit of a slower time at the moment. So I always say that when it's a bit of a slower time, I'll always put a bit of a deal on, right? And it's Black Friday. So, and it's only this week, next week. But this deal I've put on now, I've made it very, very limited. Very, very limited because I can't afford for too many to sign up using it. Anyone that signed up last year that took advantage of the 12 months, I'm going to be in touch today. Even if you've not been in touch for me, and please do not feel obliged that you're going to sign up for another 12 months, but I've got a list of everyone that signed up last Black Friday. I am offering the same deal. So whatever you've paid in previous years, and all my existing clients will back this up, whatever you pay, you'll never pay anymore. You genuinely won't. I will always look after you. So I've got clients now that have been with me for years and years and years, and they pay, probably about 40% less than what new signups now pay. But in 5 years' time, if you're still subscribed to me, if you subscribe to me today and you're still with me in 5 years' time, you'll still pay today's prices. So whatever you're currently subscribing at now, as long as your subscription stays live, you'll never pay any more. You never will pay any more, right? So, when I first started doing this, I offered my subscription at 20 quid a month, right? £20 a month. And that was just to build up a client base, really cheap offer. I've still got clients that still subscribe to me from when I first started doing this. They pay £20 a month for one-to-one weight loss coaching. Access to me 24/7 through my WhatsApp if they need it. Check-ins every couple of weeks. Access to my community for a £5 a week in 2025. It's not even a decent Starbucks coffee, that. So I'll always look after you. I'll always look after you. You support me, I'll always support you. So yeah, any of you guys that signed up last Black Friday, I've got some people that have paid. You can pay up front for a year and get a really good deal. Anyone that didn't sign up last Black Friday, if you want a 12-month deal and you're like, yeah, I'm happy to chuck in for a 12-month deal, WhatsApp me. I'll send you the deal. I'll send you a deal. But yeah, you guys that signed up last Black Friday, I'm just going to drop you a link today. If you're like, no, I'm not signed up for, I'm not going to commit again for 12 months. When your year runs out, you'll just go back onto your yearly subscription. All right, you'll just go back onto, if you want to continue, you'll just go back onto monthly subscription. Sorry, and you'll go back onto the monthly subscription of what you were paying when you signed up. All right, so it won't be today's prices. Yeah, does that make sense? Anyway, there you go. So I'll be signing up again. Maureen, thank you. Yeah, I'll drop you the link today. And you don't need to pay it today, by the way, as long as it's just while the Black Friday deal's on. So basically by the end of November. And to be totally transparent, it's called Pay Neil's Tax Bill. That's why I did the deal. I get my personal tax bill in January, and that's what the yearly Black Friday sign-ups cover. It's called Help Neil Pay His Tax Bill. It really is. Yeah. So anyway, I sent a couple out on Friday. I can't quite remember who I sent them out to. The people that have already messaged me saying, I'm happy, I want to sign up again for 12 months. I think I've sent you links out, but I'll blanket everyone today. I'll just send it out. So just whenever you want to. Yeah. And we'll get you going. Anyone else that signed up like this year on a 12-month deal, when your 12 months runs out, again, you'll never pay anymore. I'll always sort you out. Yeah. I've just done the Perform Oreo protein powder. Love the chocolate brownie one. Next is popcorn. Sweet and salty popcorn for me is up there. Very, very good. Very, very. I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. It just works really, really well. It works ace in so many different things. I'm into the cookie dough one at the moment, and I put this last week. Sometimes you just need a basic, and I normally get vanilla. Like I'll get it for bulk powders, just a basic vanilla. I've actually got the vanilla cream from Perform. Just a simple, straightforward vanilla protein powder. Belted, but Perform's just it really is. It really is. It's fantastic. Right, let me scale up. I'm going very, very shortly. I'm back this evening, 8 p.m. I will be back. 18th, my last tracking days. I go Lanzarote on the 20th. Yes, Pete, you do. Head down till then. 18 last tracking day. Are you going to check in with me on the Friday, Pete? I don't know how your check-ins fall, actually. I don't know if you're this week or next week. But anyway, if you are, we'll still do a pre-holiday check-in. Yeah. You know, we'll still get you checking over before you go on holiday. How many times can you reheat rice? Like, don't get me wrong. I nearly said as many times as you want. I know there's a big hoo-ha, or there used to be a thing about you can't preheat rice because some say it's absolute nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. You can preheat it, but would I reheat things over and over and over again? No. So what I mean by that is like if I cook 6 portions of beef stew, right, and I kept it in one pot and I was going to eat it 3 days in a row, I wouldn't reheat 6 portions, take 2 out for mine and Rachel's tea, and then let it go cold, and then reheat 4 portions, take 2 out, let it go cold, and then reheat 2 portions. I think any food, once it's cooked, you reheat it once and then eat it. Other people might have different views, but that's for me. So in terms of, if I cooked a batch of rice, and I used to do this, I used to have a rice cooker, and I used to just cook a batch of white rice and then split it into 4 portions. Yeah, you reheat it once and eat it, right? And you should be fine with anything. Like, as long as once it goes cool, you stick it in the fridge and this, that, and the other. If you couldn't reheat rice, you wouldn't have microwave pouches, because that's cooked rice that you just ping in the microwave to soften it back up. Anyway, let's have backtracking today. Scales don't look good. James, we know they bump. We know they bump after a holiday. But you've got 2 weeks now until your next check-in. So head down, and I guarantee pretty much as long as you're on it, most of it will be gone. I didn't track this weekend. Had a banging carvery yesterday. I love a carvery. Still not okay with tracking these foods, but at least I tracked all week. What do you mean you're still not okay with tracking these? Do you mean you're still not tracking like when you're having a bit more of a higher calorie day, or you're just not sure about how to track a carvery? Paula. But yeah, you're tracking. I know you were being really accountable last week, and you said you were much better. I had a Greg's Festive flatbread this weekend, and I think they're really good. Worth the Calories on tour. We'll be back this week. I'm going to try and do Spud Bros. That's what I'm going to try and do on Wednesday. I'm a little bit limited for time, but I'm going to have a go. If there is quite a big queue, I have no idea. I'm actually going to go for about 11 o'clock. So if there is quite a big queue, I've got a contingency. The contingency is Popeyes. Popeyes has just opened in Preston, and it's just around the corner from where Spud Bros is. And I've never had a Popeyes. So now if I can't get Spud Bros, I'll do Popeyes, and I'll have another look at Spud Bros next week when I'll actually have a little bit more time. So yeah, that's the plan this week. If I do Spud Bros this week, I'll probably go back to Preston next week and do Popeyes. So yes, the Worth the Calories on tour will be back. I really enjoy doing it, and it gets me out and about. It gets me out of the office a little bit. It gets me, it gets me out of the office, and it's just something a little bit different, and I enjoy it. I really enjoyed doing the one in Nando's last week. And I know Nando's is a bit of a boring one for many, but it was only my first one, and I just thought it was a good trial, and it was really nice and quiet, so it was dead easy to sort of do it, apart from the music in the background, but we sorted that out eventually. Anyway, and I love a jacket spud. I absolutely love a jacket spud. So we're going to do Spud Bros. We're going to do their signature special: cheese, beans, tuna, tram sauce, crispy onions. I'm going to guesstimate the calories in it, which I'm already up to. I think we're going to go at about 1,500 calories. Looking at, I've watched them make it a few times. but I'm going to weigh it. I was going to try and give him my scales and say, like, would you mind weighing after, like, dead easy at home, like, to weigh. Do you know what I mean? So I'm like, just zero the scales, put the jacket on when it's just the jacket, right? What does it weigh? 400. Right, now squirt the butter in. What does it weigh now? 430. Right, it's 30 grams of butter. Stick the cheese on. What does it weigh now? 600. Right, so it's 170 grams worth of cheese. Right. Stick the beans on. What does it weigh now? 900. Right, so it's 300 grams of beans. Stick the tuna on. What does it weigh now? 1100. Right, so it's 200 grams of tuna mayo. Put the tram sauce on. Stick it back on the scales. What does it weigh now? Whatever, I don't know, 1150. Right, so it's 50 grams of tram sauce. So on and so forth. Right? I thought, no one in their right mind is going to agree to do that, right? Unless I was a content creator that had like 2 million followers and they were like, oh yeah, this is going to get us 1 million views or whatever for promotion. I haven't got 2 million followers. So I'm just going to get them to, I'm just going to order one, get them to make it. And then I'm just going to weigh it as a job lot, right? So I'm just going to weigh it as a job lot and then kind of break it down from my own skills of tracking foods for the last 10 years and watching the video. I'm already there. Like, and you've also got to take into account profit, and this, like, cheese is expensive. So anyone that thinks there's 200 grams of cheese on there, you know, I know they buy it in bulk, but still buying in bulk doesn't make it that much cheaper. But 200 grams is, you know, what do they charge for a jacket spud? 8 quid, 9 quid or something, for the 10 quid maybe for their special, right? You know, you're not going to have £3 worth of cheese because they need to make profit, right? And it's not just the cost of a potato and cheese and beans. They've got to pay for the pits. They've got to pay for staff. They've got to pay for gas. They've got to pay for council tax or rates. They've got to pay, you know. It's amazing how many people that don't understand business think like 10 quid's a rip-off for a jacket spud. No. And there might be other people that do it for 5 quid. Yeah, but those are the people that go bust because they don't make enough profit. You know, it really is that simple. But anyway, that's the different story, isn't it? Anyway, there we go. I'm out of here. I'm going. I'm out. It's a new weight loss week. It's Monday. Get at it. You've got to get at it on a Monday. You really, really have. You've got to greet it. I know it might always, Mondays are always like Monday blues and back at it after, you know, having the weekend off and this, that, and the other. There's no Monday blues. Every day is a wonderful day, right? But I'm always a big believer in, you know, laying that, I always talk about all the time, lay the foundations for a good weight loss week. And Monday is no different. Yeah, well, Monday is the main Monday for me. And Rachel said this last couple of weeks. She's not done it for ages. Last couple of weeks, Rachel's really dragged herself to the gym. And I'm not, the gym isn't the be all and end all for weight loss. It really, really isn't. But last couple of weeks, Rachel's been like, if I hit the gym Monday at the gym, I just feel so much better for it. I was like, I know, right? Anyway, have a good Monday. New set of calories in the bank. What's your week? First thing you should be asking yourself is, what's going on this week? Right? What's going on? Right? Try and be a bit proactive. Right? What have you got going on? Oh, well, I've got, you know, I'm away with work Thursday night, right? I've got this on Saturday. Okay. Can you fit this into an ideal deficit week? Yes or no? It's like do a little chart thing, you know. Yes, I can. Right, there you go. Get at it. Yeah, bank your calories and crack on as normal. Can I fit this into an ideal deficit week? No. Right. Really? Just ask yourself again. Really? No, I can't. Okay. How many more calories do you reckon you need? Well, I've got, you know, I can fit my weekend into a normal calorie, but I've got this meal out with work on Wednesday night for whatever reason. Could be works too. How many calories do you reckon you need extra for that? Well, what's a meal out? 1,500 calories. I need that extra. Fine. Let's have a 2,000 calorie deficit this week instead of 3,500. Boom. Straight away. You're enjoying your meal out with work. You're still enjoying your weekend. And you're still going to lose over half a pound of body fat. Bang. Right? So you've got to set that in place. And then once you set that in place, then just plan your week out a little bit. You know, I'm still going to bank calories Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We'll go out Thursday night. I'm going to track it. I'm going to be accountable. That's it. It doesn't need to take ages. It really, really doesn't. I asked myself that question, what week have I got this week? Nothing. And I mean that. I've got nothing on other than Sunday lunch. Sunday lunch I can build into my ideal deficit. Did it last week. Easy. So I don't need to do anything special. I just need to get my head down, do what I need to do, bank my calories over the week, and then just use them efficiently over the weekend to stick to my ideal deficit. And that is the plan. Week after, I'm out for a few beers. Am I going to stick to my ideal deficit? No. How many calories are you going to go over? 2,000. Right? Crack on as normal. Head down, track, blah, blah, blah. Still going to lose weight that week. It's just going to be a little bit less than you would do normally. Right? You can do it. So get at it. But start your Monday off right. Lay the foundation. Track your calories. Get your banking going off to a right start. Get your steps in. Feel good about yourself. Look in the mirror. Smile. I deserve this. I want this. Bit of PMA on a Monday. And you'll be good. You have a good Monday. Decent Tuesday. The rest of the week, 9 times out of 10, should fall into place. Not every week. Again, we're not robots. We live in a reactive world at times. But, you can do it. Right, I'm back. 8 p.m. tonight. So have a great Monday. And I will see you in literally like 10 hours or so. And then you can tell me how amazing your Monday has been. TikTok, I'll sign off to you first. Well, I'm on my big chat thing. Let me get me thing up. And then Facebook, YouTube. Oh, hang on. Oh, I've not put, hang on. If I don't click this on now, I've then got to go through a lot of settings. Sorry. Facebook, YouTube, sign off to you second. Have a great Monday, and I'll see you tonight.